2017.
What a year it has been. I can hardly think of a time in my life where the world has felt more conflicted, divided. We find ourselves in a space where 5 minutes on our smartphones and we are overwhelmed by the pain and brokenness and divide.
Yet these three truths remain. Number one, hatred and division don't get the last word, love does. Number two, God waged peace in Jesus and it worked. And number three, there is a movement underway made up of women and men, everyday peacemakers who are daring to join God in the work of restoration.
The reality is, as we move towards conflict with tools to heal, with tools to transform, we can get exhausted.
And so here we are entering into this season called Advent. And Advent is a moment of reflection. It's a realization that things are not yet as they will be, but it's also a moment of anticipation because we have a God who promised to make all things new.
It's this time of holy waiting, of knowing that restoration has come in Jesus' death and resurrection, and that it's coming.
And then finally, Advent is a season of invitation. You see, we get to join God in ending the hell on earth of injustice by making heaven come here.
We sit in Advent, not with the expectations of a king who will conquer through violence, but knowing that our king has conquered through suffering and self-sacrifice. Thomas Merton once said, "We have to disarm the violence within ourselves if we are to disarm the violence of our world." What if this Advent season was actually a moment to turn our gaze inward and do the work to identify the violence that exists within us, the stuff that leads us to stigma and stereotype and prejudice and hatred, and begin to identify and celebrate the fact that we are the reconciled beloved.
As we've done the work of peacemaking throughout the world, we've discovered that there is one tool that more so than anything else calls us to rest in the faithfulness, the creativity, and the compassion of God. It's art. This Advent season, Global Immersion is launching a restorative campaign that's oriented around art. We're calling it Peacemaking on Earth. Throughout Advent, we'll be releasing different songs and forms of art that have been inspired by peace and forged in the trenches of everyday peacemaking. Join us as we use these tools for personal reflection within our churches and among our families. But ultimately, we hope that you draw inspiration from these artifacts and that they pull you closer to a good God with a restorative wingspan.
So over the course of the next few weeks from now until the end of the year, we're actually going to be releasing various forms of art that have been created around and for this everyday peacemaking movement. It's a series of artists and musicians who have given us exclusive content to celebrate the fact that we are part of an everyday peacemaking movement that needs to be fueled by each one of us. And the way we do that is by joining what we call the Embers community. It's a community of people that are igniting this everyday peacemaking movement through monthly financial donations. And if you join in this movement and participate in the Embers community between now and the end of the year, we have actually designed an exclusive t-shirt and a set of other perks. If you go to our website, you can learn more and join.
Friends, in 2018, our longing is that it would be a year marked not by division, but by restoration. So will you join an ancient community of people who invested in peace? Will you partner with us in accelerating the everyday peacemaking movement and actively invest in peacemaking on earth?